Daniel.
Anna.
Okay. 2020 is around the corner. What do you think? Do you support anybody?
Gloria La Riva.
Bernie Sanders.
Okay. Could you give me a reason why?
Absolutely. I support well, first of all, freeing Leonard Peltier, political prisoner, and the transition away from capitalism toward socialism.
Okay. And you?
I think Bernie Sanders is the only candidate that's worth voting for.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree. We have to get rid of dark money out of politics.
Not even dark money, just pieces of shit.
Well, we have a lot of casinos and other interests that really control the scene in this state.
Well, yeah, no, we have no problem with that. Of course, we're against the wealthy elite, but as you've shown time and time again, your problem happens to do with your xenophobia and your problem with the Latin community here.
That's not true. I am just concerned.
Yeah, you actually called them rats at public demonstrations. We've seen you there.
Mm-hmm. So what
and you
should
said
we do?
You said the only thing they're good for is they're attractive women, and we've seen you do that.
So should we make, let's say, the Anglo-Saxon Nordic population of Las Vegas?
Oh 0%? Yeah, that's right. This guy right here. He's the, no, get this. This guy, he founded a Identity Europa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He founded their Facebook page.
A lot of your posters.
Yeah. No, so he. Our boy Cyrus here is in charge of like the white identity movement here, despite not being really white whatsoever.
Oh, how self-loathing.
Iranian land of the Aryans. No, not really.
I feel suspicious something is going on in this world, and they're about to literally cleanse those people from the world.
Oh,
too bad for you. That sucks.
So what should we do? Cleanse them, or should we get rid of them?
Who are you talking about? Can you explain your position here?
I think the people who run this earth, they want those people to be eliminated.
Okay, who runs this earth?
The owners of this country.
Okay, who are they?
The people who run the banks, the people who run... Good question. That's what I'm
Can we get a ledger?
That's a good question.
Because this just sounds like another anti-Semitic trope that goes back. What would you say to accusations that this just falls in line with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories?
Wait. I've heard it's the Jesuits that run. I don't know who it is. I've heard it's the Jesuits because the reason that they're flooding them into Northern Europe is that they're trying to destroy the Protestant society of the world.
I mean, they don't need any help with that.
The Protestant society, or Protestant identity on its own, is destroying itself through its own like dialectical contradictions of its own ideological formations. I mean, it's like within its own, it's from its ideas that have led to its own dissolution, right? So like you look at like the Protestant work ethic, for example, it lies in like direct contradistinction to its like original community bonds and ties, and rips it apart from its own social fabric.
But when you see the inflow of those people into those countries, the low birth rates, there's something that tells me I should feel kind of fishy that something is going on. I mean, we should just let literally population change just the way it is to go on, and
let's just let fear-mongering go on because of your conspiratorial thinking of demographic changes which you have no knowledge of.
I know, it's like based on no science.
But
no, I mean like
if you look at California though, California has
I thought we were talking about Europe.
But California is an example.
Aren't we being beleaguered by the Protestants? Are we being beleaguered by the Tell me who is it? Is it the Jews? Is it the Catholics?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm hoping to hear.
So you have this whole like system of fear, but based on no analysis. So like from our perspective, we have a phrase: no investigation, no right to speak. It seems like you haven't done your homework on the matter. So I don't understand what you're
I want
afraid
to
of.
raise an alarm that something is changing, and I feel uncomfortable.
Okay, what is changing? What is changing?
What is changing?
Yeah, what is changing? Tell me.
Okay, so you brought up demographics. I feel that something fishy is going on.
Okay, what's going on that's fishy with demographics?
No. Something fishy. What are you certain about?
Can you explain that?
Well, I feel as if that there's some plan to literally downgrade some people on this earth.
Who?
Okay,
Who?
okay, a hunch. Okay. Do you have anything to substantiate?
No, hold on. Who's being downgraded?
Okay, so
Anglo-white?
The European descent that come from excluding Southern and Eastern Europe.
Motherfucker, you are Persian.
Well,
I
I know, but I believe that they should still preserve their heritage, just like I want to preserve my heritage. And I don't think that that's anything harsh about that. I think if these people that want to live in their own society, they should do it. If they don't want to live by me, they should tell that in front of my face. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, but anyways, going back to what you're saying, there's a plan to downgrade the European identity, and you don't know who's
We see the data. The data shows that
What is the
London,
data?
Paris, Berlin, Las Vegas, it's the same thing.
What is
And the whites
data?
are being
What is the data? What is
downgraded?
the data showing? I
Low
know there's
birth
still,
rates,
like,
that's the problem with those.
Because whites are fucking less, that means the browns are fucking castrating them?
It's a plan.
Yes, of course, of
It's
course.
a plan, yes.
Of
We
course.
see that- we
White
see-
people have shit dick. It's a fact. That explains low
That's the
birth
problem
rates.
with those people in Charlottesville.
They're
Well,
disgusting.
no, you know modernization theory. I mean, that's where like, hey, what was that?
I don't want to.
You don't know what?
I don't want to see everybody to look at this conversation.
Why not? You don't want people to.
Oh, no,
You do
you-
that all the
you
time.
would.
You go to public demonstrations and you thrive on gaining attention from your like racist bullshit.
Okay, go ahead. But I just,
Go
I
ahead
just
with
look
what?
at the
She has
data.
a right to speak her mind.
Go ahead, but I just feel that something is fishy going on. I
Okay,
see where
your
California
feelings.
has changed.
All right, so your
Your
feelings.
feelings.
Facts don't
No,
give a fuck about your
no. The
feelings.
facts show that California has changed heavily since 1960.
Yeah, whites are still on top of the socioeconomic ladder.
That's the problem, my friend. The white people on the top still have the power, but the average European is suffering. The average European is being pushed down to the
No,
gutter.
it's not the average European. It's
The
the average
average
working class
person.
person. It's the average working class person. And we need to unite on the basis of being working class. We have more ties, whether you're working class. I have more ties as a working class person with working class black people, with working class Arabic people, with working class
Okay.
Latin people.
Good
No,
for you.
seriously,
I
as
appreciate
opposed
that.
to like wealthy people of any like
I
race.
appreciate that, but I just think, I just see the data, I see the record, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for working class people whose real wages haven't gone up since
I
the
agree.
1970s.
I agree, but the wealthy elite, they fund these American, traditional.
I don't know what you're
groups.
talking about because you're looking at the
Mm-hmm.
primary
Oh,
lobbying
it's
groups.
the cosmopolitan universal.
Oh,
yes,
the
yes,
cosmopolitan.
yes, yes.
Yeah, the cultural
Doesn't
elites.
George Soros fund these
Ah,
organizations?
Yeah,
yes.
sure.
Yes.
Don't the Koch brothers fund
I agree.
organizations too? I mean, no, but what you have is
We
like.
have Sheldon Adelson here. He's
Yes,
a big
the
donor.
Hebrewites. It's those guys that does.
Yeah, funny
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
it
But
up.
he's a
yeah.
Republican donor.
No. But I don't see them funding anti-American. I mean, like you look at like the different institutes, the Brookings Institutes, these different think tanks. They're fundamentally pro-American, especially on the world stage. They're fundamentally supporting candidates who are pro-American, and yeah, they put down anti-American literature. I mean, for instance, our university here. Do you think there any donations or funding to any research that's going to go into anything that might be construed as anti-American? No, absolutely not. So I don't know where you're getting that from.
No, but if you look at a lot of these
If you look at the
NGOs,
data, though.
if you look at the NGOs, you see who they're being funded by. All these other
Yeah,
organizations.
capitalists. Capitalists are the enemy.
But they also fund these leftist Democrat causes, just like they do in Republican causes. They're both
Yes,
heavily.
yes.
Okay, I
Both
agree.
parties
agree.
are organs of the ruling
Okay.
elite. We're on the same page.
Okay, so I want to make this clear. I want to live in a nice society.
you clear?
I want to live in a nice community. I don't care about what race it is. I am just saying that something that changes in my society, there's nothing wrong with me questioning. Okay?
That's not true. I disagree with that.
Well,
There's nothing
you're-
wrong.
No,
there's-
there are
So-
many things wrong. There are many things that just should not be questioned. Like if you're gonna question certain sexual mores regarding pedophilia or rape, you should not question those taboos.
That does vary, but I'm talking about the data of a certain place that's changing. There's nothing wrong for me looking at it and saying, hey, something's fishy.
Okay, no, but what you're committing is a Mott and Bailey fallacy. What you have is you have this defensible position, this easy position that, hey, I should be able to question this, and that's very easy, very defensible for you. And then when the attack recedes on you, then you come out with with your further machinations and your further like, oh, but what if it's this? Oh, what if it's this? And then it starts getting weird and weird, and then you're shouting E-Verify at demonstrations, and it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
And then you get attacked, and then you come back to your mod, and it's, oh wait, no.
Well,
we
shouldn't we
be able to,
verify?
question these things.
Shouldn't we see if somebody who hires someone, they have a legal right to work? Shouldn't we do that? They shouldn't be entitled to a job.
Yeah, no, if they're hired, they absolutely should be.
E-Verify, you know, came up with that was originally Turek. And you know.
Well, good. We should mandate it.
No, but
it's it comes down as simple as this. I don't even fucking know what fucking fallacies you're talking about. You say you're content, so long as it's a nice society. You just want a good community. It doesn't matter who lives in it.
Yes.
You see demographic changes.
But I want the people who want homogeneous societies to live in their separate zones. Doesn't have to be the United States.
So you want self-segregation?
If I want the people to choose between mixing and self-separation, just like I
Why? Why is this an important issue? When we're dealing with like climate change right now, when we're dealing with poverty, people who can't feed themselves, we're out arresting homeless people now. And you have like these different like larger crises of like
I didn't go pro.
No, I know you were there, but we have
didn't speak.
We have these periodic economic crashes. So like
there's one coming.
Yes, absolutely.
The housing
we have an
bubble
economic
is bursting in Las Vegas.
Yes, it's coming, and then once this happens, there's going to be another one in another 10 years. So we have these periodic issues, and so why are you identifying an issue that's not particularly pertinent or relevant to our community at this moment?
Well, no. Ask it another way. Ask it another way. Why is miscegenation a problem?
Yeah.
Why? Come up with your case.
Did I get
Yes,
involved?
you did. Well, yeah. I mean, because you're fighting for
The
the rights.
homogeneity
You're fighting
of
for the rights
communities?
of.
What is that?
Yeah, you're fighting for the rights of people who don't want miscegenation.
Because
Why is that an
we
issue?
see
Why is
the
that what you
neighborhoods.
choose to? Why is that the hill you want to die on?
We see the neighborhoods. They don't look pretty.
Why don't they look pretty?
Good question. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Lack of ordinances, poor quality buildings, or maybe people who live there.
Well, don't you also? Yeah. So you identify particular ethnic groups as being the people who don't take care of it, right? Or, I mean, you've done that in the past.
I've been to California. I've seen different results in similar demographics. So I think it's just.
So it has nothing to do with class for you. It has to do with ethnic groups. Because I've seen homogenous poor white communities that don't look great either.
That's what I just said. In California, I've seen different results with similar demographics. Yeah.
Okay, so then why are we identifying the ethnic component of it? So you're saying you see communities that don't look great, and you've admitted just now that ethnicity or demographics don't play a role.
Pahrum's not pretty.
Okay, Pahrum's not pretty, but what does this have to do with miscegenation? Like, because
I brought it up because it's the fucking word for what you're saying.
But I'm saying, like, you'd have to show me the research. Does miscegenation have a causal factor in these communities not looking pretty?
We're talking about climate, existential crises,
economic
speculation bubbles bursting. Your explanation for global decline is miscegenation.
But this migration is backed by the elite.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong.
Answer this question.
I'm going to tell you why we have
What explains
the
global financial crises?
Okay, now look at this. This state, we're one of the highest levels of people that don't have papers. We're one of the number 5 in foreign-born population. I go to these casinos, like vast majority of them. My mom says, she says, "What's up with these employees? Why are they all foreign-born?"
It's almost as if America was a 200-year-old country made for immigrants.
Yeah, well, the very high ratio, not 20%, not 30%, 70, 80%. So what this tells me?
It's 100 fucking percent, bitch. You're not Native American. You're a fucking immigrant.
Right. That reduces opportunities for us.
You're an immigrant. Ayatollah Khomeini is rolling in his grave. God, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, and here's the really sad part. Then they're part of the Culinary Union, and then they pump politicians and ruin us with these bad laws. And
Chef Boyardee is
Harry Reid Reid and Jacky Rosen and Sandoval.
Listen, but
Sisolak.
what frustrates me is you don't understand how you are feeding into the ruling elites.
No, I'm not.
Attempt to divide the working class. The
Let me
enemy
ask
is
you
not
this.
the foreign-born
If the
working class. The
culinary-
enemy is the capitalist who is
But they're
seeking out
using
that
them.
cheap labor. They're using them as cheap
That's
labor.
what I'm trying to get
so
at
how do
there.
we fight this? We fight for their wages. We fight for their benefit.
And why isn't
Because-
the Culinary Union instituting a maximum wage for CEOs?
I mean-
you know, the CEO of Jim Murren, his compensation is $37 million.
Okay, yeah.
That is a fake
Sure.
union. Culinary Union is a fake union. If they would have done something, they would have done something about this.
So you think that
I mean,
unions can decide CEOs' wages?
They did in the 1940s and 50s. If you
You
look
know
at,
what else they did in the 1940s and 50s? They fucking microwaved retarded kids. Times have changed.
Well, Bernie
History
Sanders says in the 40s and 50s we were experiencing growing middle class. That's what he said. We had the
Again,
trade union movement.
Yeah.
So we did it back then. I think we can do it now. And then if you stop the high CEO pay, the heavy lobby for immigration will die. Very simple. These lobbyists are the ones that we
But
have.
again, like in my day-to-day life, and when I study political science, I study sociology. Immigration at this point in time is not identified as a problem. Now, refugee crises and immigrant inflows can be very destabilizing to a community. That is understood, but in our society, we're nowhere close to that. When you actually look at the research and the comparative data. Again, this is just made up to be like an
why
export.
is there a refugee crisis?
Oh, again, because American foreign policy, right?
It's because our think tanks,
Or
right?
yeah, why is there? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there was an Islam for America event. There was Harry Reid, and I told him he voted for the Iraq War, so he bears responsibility.
Right, absolutely. Fuck Harry
Yeah.
Reid.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck
well,
Harry
thank
Reid, sure.
you.
Fuck Obama, fuck Harry Reid.
You just dropped. You
Sure,
just made
fuck
me feel
Hillary
1,000
Clinton.
times better right now. So you're against these people.
Absolutely.
That's
fuck,
good.
Fuck all the
Of course
Democrats.
we are.
I mean,
Okay.
me, even fuck
Okay.
Bernie Sanders.
But
yeah.
but this
Sorry.
these SOBs, they're using the immigrant community to get votes and support for them, and that's why I'm concerned. Now you know why I'm concerned.
Politicians see people as pawns. That's
No, but
it.
So that's the number one reason why I'm concerned with people changing. It's because of that. It's not because they're taking my job or these are people that are putting a lot of threat to me. I don't believe in this notion that our crime problems because of immigration. I don't think it's because of that. I mean, sure, there are a few bad apples, but our crime problems is not because of immigration. When you read the headlines, you see what I'm talking about. Do you agree?
yeah.
Okay. So I don't like, it's a political weapon and it's a way to get cheap labor. And you know what? If my mom sees something fishy, I don't feel alone.
But again, like, what is fishy? Again, the fact that we have foreign-born population.
Very high rates relative to the overall population of Las Vegas.
Okay, so let's say you're an older
Dude,
person and
this
you're noticing
all-
these changes and you're like, my society is changing. Okay, so far, okay, neutral. Like, that's a neutral statement. It's not good or bad. It's just, this is different.
And
Now,
what's it for?
now
Doesn't
you,
make sense.
now you have to, yeah. So now you have to kind of like try to make the jump to say, you know, what does this mean? Why? And like, which direction is this going in? Good, bad, or neutral? And the implication you're obviously making is that this is bad. And I'm saying, like, why is that? Like, what is, you know what I mean? You know, why is that bad?
This is literally.
Something is just not working. I think that it's likely limiting
Okay, but what is the
opportunities
link? What is the link between something not working and high diversity? Like, you have to make that. You have to make that link. You have to see that research. You have to find that research. What is that link? Why is that? How is that? You're just, because what you're doing is you're just looking at two different phenomena, not workingness, you know, dirty communities. I don't know what you're, you know, and
Is the neighborhood nice?
yeah. My neighborhood's fine. I don't know. I don't know what you.
But-
What do you mean by that? I don't know.
I mean, these neighborhoods, you drive up 10 miles northeast, you don't see English in their businesses, and then
That's not a problem for me. I mean, like, I love the Mexican supermarkets and like good products.
well, not all of them do that. In some areas that I've lived in California, they don't do that. Downey, Whittier, Anaheim, Chula Vista, much of San Diego, they don't do that.
They don't do what?
Don't do what?
They learn English much faster.
Okay, I mean, I don't care. I mean, if they live in
Well, I mean,
communities where they speak Spanish, that doesn't bother me.
completely irrelevant.
Everybody has to learn English for a society to work.
No, the fuck they don't.
Well, then
You're
why
out of
did
your
my mom-
fucking gourd.
Then why did my mom and my dad learn it?
Okay, how come
Why did you learn it?
How come my Persian
I'm-
grandparents? How come my Persian
What's
grandparents
the
speak
what's
like?
the official language of the United States? Tell me.
There has to be one.
What's the official language of the United States? How about you tell me?
There isn't.
Exactly, bitch.
I mean, like my Persian grandparents, like they don't speak English, and like I know the Persian community out here. A lot of
But
them like
I
are
don't
terrible at learning
understand why
English.
people from South, they're not learning English.
So then, how come Iranians aren't either?
They are.
Let's talk about our. No, they're not.
Where's the
No,
free
like,
education
no,
they
my,
can get to learn
My
English?
family and like
I have
out
a
here,
Persian-
they're not.
I have a
Or how about
Persian candy.
Tehrangelis? In Tehrangelis, they do not speak English, and you know that. You know that in Tehrangelis,
Oh no,
in
I've
LA,
lived there.
and
I've been there
Burbank.
many times. They do.
No, they do not. Their stores are in Farsi.
But
Their
they
communities
do-
are in Farsi.
You
or
can speak
in
English
Hebrew.
with them and they will know. Except for my grandparents. Because
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
that's
about.
different.
Though.
See,
It's not different.
That's why we should favor younger immigrants, because then they'll absorb it much better.
Okay, so you support the DREAM Act?
It depends on what it is. I have to look into it. But
You're talking about children brought to the United States at a young age, like maybe so now all of a sudden,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I just
but
want
it
young,
depends on-
hot, ready, fresh little boys
Yeah.
to bring in.
Okay, well the thing is, if there's a candy that's produced in Mashhad, Iran, it has English writing on it, and their alphabet is different. And I think if
Because the corporation decided that. It's a single firm. What the fuck?
well, I mean, if they could do it there, if they could learn English there, then I think other people from the South.
If a CEO in an office can learn English,
I mean, but that's not true, because again, you want to look at model minorities. I mean, like there are Korean communities, Chinese communities, so on, or even entire communities, they don't speak English, and they're succeeding just fine.
how come my beauty products are written in French?
But
I live
why
in America, don't
why
I?
do Korean
Yeah.
Americans make more than other people, including?
Right.
Why? Why does that happen?
Do you want to do something?
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
go.
I'm just saying. But listen.
Yeah, no, she wants
now,
to head
I
out.
want you to make this very clear. I think that people should have a choice. And
Let's be clear.
What, to self-segregate?
We have the
That's-
same enemy. That is capital.
I
It is
agree.
not identity politics. It is not.
Yeah, it's not identity.
But the politicians keep pumping it up.
No,
I
and
want
we-
it to
I-
We
stop.
have
agree
the
with that.
same enemy.
We want it to stop.
So same fucking enemy. I don't understand how you don't see that.
What makes you think I don't?
The fact that we've had this
The
conversation.
fact that these same politicians you're saying that are being manipulative, you're buying into and helping them propagate that which divides the working class. Because a unified working class is what terrifies them the most. A unified working class is the only thing which can liberate
So that's what I wanna
mankind
do.
from its condition.
That's what I want to do.
All right then.
But I have to address the problems so people know them. Because not addressing the problems, you're not going to know them. You know?
Okay, but that's not the problem. The problem is capital. The problem is accumulation of commodities. It's the declining rate of profit. It's the stagnation of wages.
Not by numbers.
How about
It's
instead?
it's the laws of capital accumulation. It's the laws of the motion of capital. Like just the how capitalism is what leads to these things, and that's why it needs to be overturned.
I honestly think all four systems, all isms, are full of everything.
Controversial.
I don't know what you mean by that, but like when I say capitalism, I don't mean an
suggest you-
ideology.
I said you
There's
suggest-
no ideology behind this. We can agree that George Soros needs to be guillotined.
I suggest you look into the resource-based economy, the Zeitgeist movement.
Yeah, that's idealist. It's idealist nonsense.
Well, if you have that, you wouldn't move borders.
But it's no.
The game changes.
Yeah,
We have
but
no-
it's
what?
it has like no bearing on like scientific analysis of like how societies develop or anything like that. But
Well,
all right.
Anyway,
But that's what I think. They make a lot of sense to me.
I'm sure they do. All right. Khuda Hafiz.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Great pleasure.